We're blessed to have a special speaker. I don't want to mess this up. Alan Spinner is our guest speaker. He is a veteran. He has history here at our parish. He had children that attended our school in the middle years, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. He once lived in North Richland Hills, and he has a story to share with us. Please welcome Alan Spinner.
It's an honor and a blessing to be able to represent veterans. Now, unfortunately, you're going to put up a little bit of emotion from me because this is a very dear part of my heart, is being a veteran of the United States Army. I spent 2 years in Panama, and I spent 2 years in Atlanta, Georgia. I joined the Army just for an education, because at one time when it came time for me to get into the service, actually when it time for me to go to college, there wasn't any money. So I went to the service and told the Army what I needed, I told the Air Force what I needed, I told the Coast Guard what I needed, and I told everybody else what they needed. And the Army came up with the best program for me, and I joined the Army for an education. I also was looking for an occupation that would take me through life, and the Army gave me that by getting me in data processing and computers. I still to this day in data processing and computers. So the Army has done really well for me and my family. When I joined the Army, I did not join the Army for freedom. I did not join the Army for all the things you've been hearing today about what it's all about, being in the service. But as you get through going through the Army, there's a lot of things that starts happening. And then I say the services in general. So when I speak of the Army, I'm talking about the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Coast Guard. My journey afterwards, being a veteran, is important. I'm a Vietnam-era vet. And there's probably many of you in here. I've been looking around, I saw some gentlemen my age. All right, so we're a Vietnam-era vet. There's also Vietnam vets. Those are the ones that you really need to be proud of, because they're the ones that fought a war. I was not in a war. I was stationed in Panama, and I served my country down there instead. I want to start out just a little bit how this story, what it means to be a veteran, by looking at our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. Raise your hand for 2nd and 3rd graders. I'm kind of an interactive person here. All right, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is that, what is the most important thing that we did today so far? How many times have we said the Pledge of Allegiance? Twice, haven't you? You said it first thing in the morning when you started class, and then you also started out here, Pledge of Allegiance. When I joined the Army, that's one of the things I had to do, is Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. All right? The second thing I did is I also pledged, and every person who goes into service pledges this, is that they will uphold the Constitution of the United States. That's very important to know that. We do not follow the President, we do not follow Congress, we don't follow any person, we follow the Constitution. So that's our pledge, that we will uphold the Constitution. So when I look at the flag, the very first thing that comes to me is birthday. Now, how do you put flag and birthday? Every battle that we go into, no matter what it is, the flag is there. We happen to have 2 people in uniform today, and I'm going to ask them to stand up and probably come a little bit forward so everybody can see you. That's Chris Lyon and also Richard Vasquez. I've asked them to kind of stand up a little bit, so take a look at them. Now, what I want them to do is I want them to turn so their right shoulder is looking at you. What do you see, folks? The flag. These gentlemen are carrying our flag as they walk, as they talk. When they are in uniform, they are representing us. That's very, very important. Thanks a lot, both of you gentlemen. Thanks for the impromptu-ness of it, too, as well. That's where my journey really starts of being a veteran, is starting with the flag. Now, let's go to the, oh, by the way, the big thing about the flag is, when's our birthday? When's our birthday in the United States? 4th of July, you're right. Every 4th of July, you know what I do? I run down the streets, I blow my horn on my car, and I did this in Panama, by the way, and you do it in a foreign country, they think you're really weird, all right? And I blow my horn, and I sing, happy birthday to us, happy birthday to us, happy birthday, dear America, happy birthday to us. first, second, and third graders, do that on 4th of July for your family in the car. You'll have a lot of fun. Now it's time for your fourth, 5th, and 6th graders. 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, what your job is to take that allegiance, take a look at the flag. The colors are red, white, and blue. And today I wore red, white, blue. All right? Look up on Google, and you'll be amazed at the answers that you will get when you post in there. What is the meaning of red, white, and blue? Why do we have red, white, and blue on our flags? I'm not going to ask y'all because, you know, whatever you're going to say is right. But look it up and you will see a little bit more succinctly of what red, white, and blue stands for. Now I'm going to go to the big guys, your 7th and 8th graders. You realize that 7th and 8th graders is that you are the group now that is called the group of abstract thinkers. Do you know what abstract thinkers are? Abstract thinkers are people who take a look at the words in the Constitution and say, freedom. What kind of freedoms do we have? What do we enjoy being an American? Biggest thing that we talk about, I talk to foreigners who have become U.S. citizens. I've talked to a lot of people before I came here today and asked them, what's the number one thing about being an American? Freedom is normally it. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. And how many freedoms do we have? Your job as 7th and 8th graders is take back to school later on and say, okay, what does the Constitution mean? What does freedom of speech mean? No, I'm sorry, it does not mean you can tell your mom and dad off. All right? That's irresponsible freedom of speech. All right? What freedom of speech means is that we are able to dialogue. Now, this is a little bit of a journey I had to go down to kind of get an idea what it means to be a veteran. Because as we look at our veterans today, surreptitiously, that is exactly how they ended up being. I'm not quite sure that any veteran went into the service wanting to be a hero. But they all came out a hero. All right, now, I'm going to pick specifically the Vietnam era vets. How many people have grandparents that are grandfathers or grandmothers that were in the service during the Vietnam era? Do me a favor. Those are the only veterans that came home that was not welcomed. Think about that. We're the only veterans that came home not welcomed. When you get home tonight, when you see the veterans here, the Vietnam era vets especially, is say, welcome home. It'll bring tears to their eyes. And this has been about 45 years. Told you I get a little emotional. And talking to some veterans, what I asked them, I says, what does it mean to you to be a veteran? Well, one of the things it means is that we're a part of something greater than. And we're just a small person. You can think of the millions of people who are veterans today. I'm just one of them. I'm just one. I'm just a tiny speck of sand. But I'm a part of that. All right? And that's one of the things that we found out. Another one was actually fighting for our country. And I was talking to a Vietnam vet who his job was, he was running the helicopter gunships. Now, would you like to be a pilot of a helicopter gunship? Yeah? All right. This is the guy that protected the troops on the ground. And when he said, actually, and the word here is actually fighting for our country. And here he is over in Vietnam. Another one was, you get a sense of knowing how great America really, really is. You realize that you can travel 3,000 miles without getting stopped by a cop except for speeding? That is important for us veterans, and we see that. We walk around our country, we see the beauty of our country, but we see the education that you're getting, we see the things that you are doing. All right? And this is the freedom that we have. You got freedom of thought, you have freedom of adventure, you have freedom of movement. 3,000 miles you can go without being stopped. Those of us who've been in foreign countries, and I've lived in a foreign country, is that freedom is very important, because I have seen cops or policemen or soldiers or whatever it was on the side of the streets with guns on. I mean talking about big guns, not just a pistol. And that's important to know, that transition of coming back to the United States was difficult, because all of a sudden I was looking around and I didn't have to be afraid of anything anymore. And And that fear is gone from you, students. You don't look anywhere, you don't go anywhere with a fear in you that something can happen to you. I'm going to close with a quick story and what it really means to be a vet to me. My flag, our flag, is very, very important. 5 years ago, my uncle died. My uncle died when he was in the service, and he was a World War II vet. He was 87 years old when he died. And one of the beautiful things that has transpired in that process of his funeral is that his coffin is draped with the United States flag. This is one honor. This is one honor that every veteran has the right to do, is have a flag when they're passing. And as the flag was folded, there's a real ceremony. And as the flag is folded, and then after it was folded, it was given to my nephew. My nephew was been in battle. He was a Marine. The Marines are always the first one to go somewhere. And he gave the flag to my aunt. So myself and my aunt, or myself and my nephew, giving the flag to my aunt, the thing that they say is, thank you for your service to your country. So I look forward to the day, is that when I do die, is I can look down, hopefully I look down, and I see the flag on my coffin. That's what it means to be an American. Once you get out of the service, is that this starts really settling in of all the things that takes place, and all the millions of men and women who have given their lives and their spirit to our country. Thank you very much.